What's up, guys? I want to check out these 2015 De La Soul highs. These are actually the third pair of De La Soul SBs that Nike's ever come out with, and we have a fourth pair to look forward to in May. These shoes came out just before Valentine's Day. Huge shout out to my boy MD Nate on Twitter. I told him a couple weeks before these shoes came out that I was after him. He actually woke up the morning that they came out and bought them for me and reached out to me and he said, "Hey, I grabbed you your size 11. He passed them along to me at his cost. Thank you so much, Nate. He didn't even have confirmation from me the morning of or the night before that I still wanted them and needed them. One of the great parts about social media and sneakers is we're able to meet and connect with people that are passionate about the same things that we are. I love finding deals for others. I love when people find deals for me. I love telling the stories of the shoes. And this is really a new thing in this modern era of sneaker collecting. Because honestly, 15 or 20 years ago, we couldn't even find sneakers and we couldn't connect with each other. Anyway, back to these shoes. So they retailed for a whopping $150, and they celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the original De La Soul Dunk SBs. There was a high and a low. The high back in the day retailed for $75, and the low retailed for $65. Now, of course, inflation has happened in the last 10 years, but more than inflation, Nike's trying to kill the resellers. And they know that this shoe is going to come out and resell for a ton of money, so they're trying to get as much of that as they can, and that explains the whopping $150 retail price. You'll notice that the upper of the shoe is white leather, and it has accents that are the graphics from De La Soul's first album from the late 80s, 3 Feet High and Rising. Now, Nike actually says that the album came out in '88, but the album itself says 1989, so there's a bit of a discrepancy there. But this album and these shoes bring me back to junior high. I swear, me, myself, and I played at every single dance party in 6th and 7th grade. Anyway, I want to move the album out of the way, and we're going to get into it and check out these shoes. So they're beautiful, no question about it. You gotta love the white and yellow. The shade of yellow on the box is Firefly. I think it would have been fun if they would have made it Del Sol, sort of a play on De La Soul. You'd have the SOUL from the band. You'd have SOL, which is Spanish for sun, as the color of yellow. And then, of course, the shoes have SOLE, soles, on there. So it could have been a fun little wordplay with soul. They didn't do it, no big deal. Anyway, what I want to do is introduce the 2015 De La Souls to the rest of the De La Soul family. So let's turn these around and get the other shoes out. Before we do, though, let's have a look at the box. Nike Dunk High Premium De La Soul SB Quick Strike. That's a lot of abbreviations. And I'm not hating because Nike doesn't do a good job of explaining their shoes. And at least with a shoe like this, you can look at the box, read what it is by the title, and sort of figure out what it is, what the inspiration behind the shoe is. We'll see as we look at the other De La Souls, they didn't do that at all. Let's look at the 2005 De La Soul lows. They look very, very similar to the highs. Actually, you can see that's where they got the inspiration. They just basically turned the low into the high. That's a big thing they're doing over at Nike right now, turning lows into highs. They'll be turning highs into lows. The next De La Soul that's going to come out in May is turning the old 2005 high into a low. All of these shoes are a part of the What the Dunk exhibit, which keeps growing and growing and growing. The What the Dunks are my favorite Dunk SBs. They're a mishmash of a bunch of different dunks, and the family keeps growing. And just for the sake of completeness, I gotta keep going with it. I'll explain more a little later as we keep going through these De La Souls. Something that I want you to notice, though, is that Nike's changed the outsole of their shoes. This was the traditional outsole on the Dunk SB. This is what it looks like now. It actually looks a lot like a Vandal with these concentric circles. You're going to notice that there's a little bit more tread in here than there is over here. I'm sure it's to better grip the ground. By the way, there's an amazing video on YouTube of a Nike skater named Bobby Warist, and he's skating around in these De La Soul highs with me, myself, and I playing in the background. All right, I'm going to move these over, and we're going to break out the third and final, at least for now, De La Soul shoe. Because remember, in May, we've got another one coming out. This is the most valuable of all of them. The original De La Soul high. Let's put it right there so we can look at it. very beautiful. Let me hold it up so we get a little better light. You can see this beautiful brown with the green elephant print on the upper. And then, of course, the same graphics from the album going around the heel. Now check out that green elephant print. There's not a whole lot of shoes with green elephant print on there. There's Questlove Air Force Ones, and there's also Dorenbecker Angus's from the first year of the Dorenbecker line. Beyond that, though, not that many shoes with green elephant print. Let's put the album up back there. So I said that these shoes were a part of the What the Dunk exhibit. So let's break out some What the Dunks. Gently place them on those lows. Beautiful, beautiful shoe. Remember that the What the Dunk is a mishmash of a whole lot of different dunks all in one. It's really the first 6 years of Nike SB, a big celebration. Look at this one right here. As we look at some of the paneling on this shoe, this paneling in particular, it comes from the paneling on the De La Soul high. So actually, the reason why this low and now this high is a part of the What the Dunk collection is because this high has this little paneling that you can see going right around here. And then, of course, as they turn this high into a low, I'm going to have to get that as well and keep the family alive. I swear, this What the Dunk exhibit is going to turn into 100 pairs of Nike SBs before you know it. Anyway, it's been a real pleasure introducing you to the latest member of the De La Soul family. Thank you at MD Nate on Twitter for hooking me up. You know I'm going after the pair in May. Maybe you can help me out then too.